Pro fighters versus Shaolin monks. In this video, we'll be looking at MMA fighters taking on Shaolin monks. Shaolin monks are people who dedicate their lives to learning Kung Fu from the Shaolin Temple. In other words, they aren't the kind of people you want to find yourself in an altercation with. However, professional fighters have found themselves locked in the cage with Shaolin monks. Let's see how those fights went down. Kantharaj Agasa versus Chiwe. Enter Chiwe. He's a professional MMA fighter that comes from a Shaolin Kung Fu background. After being a bit of a troublemaker as a kid, we decided to learn from the Shaolin Temple starting at the age of 14. After spending some time at the temple learning Zen Buddhism and the martial art, he left to pursue an MMA career. So, are Shaolin monks legitimate fighters? Or is this one of those MMA rumors about mythical fighters? Let's take a close look at Chiwe in action. As she took on Kantharaj Agasa, who currently holds a 12-3 record, newer fans didn't really know what to expect. This fight was fireworks. It became very clear that the Kung Fu master had a huge advantage in the striking department, so his opponent was relentless in trying to score takedowns. Kung Fu isn't exactly a requisite martial art for becoming a great fighter. It's fun and unique, but very rarely do fans see a Kung Fu fighter do great. However, with Chiwe, we see a completely well-rounded fighter with a great Kung Fu base that he utilizes better than anyone else. Chi's great MMA skill is shown more when he was taken down. Though Shaolin monks are known for their quick and methodical striking skills, we stayed calm and seemed rather savvy in the grappling department too. Chiwe really relied on his great defensive wrestling and striking abilities to grab this victory. He stopped most takedown attempts and made his opponent fight a very uncomfortable and scary battle. We eventually landed a grazing flying knee. Though it's ideal for the knee to land flush and knock the opponent out, that's not the only way that this move can win a fight. The knee sliced Agasa over his eye. This, on top of the former Shaolin monk's relentless pace, led to Agasa not making it out to fight for a third round. Did you expect this from a Shaolin Kung Fu fighter? Let us know down below. Shaolin Monk has an iron chin. Here we see Shaolin Monk Yi Long trusting his chin more than I trust everyday reliable things like elevators and the brakes on my car. What I'm getting at is, Long really believed in his defense and ability to take a punch here, as he quite literally let one of the best kickboxers in the world. Brad Riddell is currently in the UFC and coaches Muay Thai at Tiger Muay Thai, one of the most renowned striking gyms in the world. Hands down, chin tucked, Yi let Brad give it his all. But he was able to withstand this barrage of strikes, and though it's not safe and probably made his coaches very upset, looked cool as hell doing so. How many of these strikes do you think you could have eaten before going down? Half of one? Same here. Do you want us to break down the entire match? Let us know in the comments down below.
现在开始。
Yi Long and Riddell again. The recent entry was just a clip of Brad Riddell and Yi Long's first fight. Here we have their scintillating rematch. This really shows that the myth of Shaolin monks being good fighters is true. Though Yi Long uses more than just his Kung Fu, he was able to build off of his core martial art to become great. It's not as easy as just training another martial art. What truly helped Long is the mental fortitude and dedication to bettering himself. He's more than just his look, and he's more than just how tough his chin is. He's a great kickboxer. This is shown in the Riddell rematch. Though this contest was very close, Yi Long stood toe-to-toe with, as we've said before, one of the best kickboxers in the world. From countering shots to eating them, Long and Riddell put on a great performance that went to decision and saw the Shaolin monk with his hand raised. One and done from the monk. Seen here is a spar between another Shaolin monk and someone who seems to be a bit more of a traditional boxer. The monk's a bit more careless in his stance, but this shouldn't be taken as being cocky or complacent. He knows what he's doing. The boxer throws a lazy jab and then changes levels. This is to get the monk to raise his hands up so that his body would be open, hence the level change. Before the boxer could throw a more meaningful strike to the body, he's met with the most beautiful side kick I've ever seen in my life. This kick landed and Stephen Thompson woke up from his sleep. The kick landed and Jean-Claude Van Damme lost his job security. This kick landed and UFC fighters unionized to ban Shaolin monks and sidekicks from MMA fights. Kidding. We all know UFC fighters won't unionize. Looking at you, Dana White. Have we mentioned how awesome this kick was? It stopped the boxer right in his tracks, and he probably thought that there was someone else involved because it's hard to believe a human has that great of a reaction time. What's even more beautiful about this is the stigma that side kicks don't work. It's largely believed in the MMA community that this kick is a bit pointless and easy to see coming. We challenge anyone that subscribes to that school of thought to watch this kick on replay for 2 hours. Are you going to spend time throwing side kicks in the mirror tonight? Us too. Don't be embarrassed.
After 3 minutes and 42 seconds in the opening round, or your winner.
Shaolin Monk takes on a JiuJitsu black belt. We'll turn the focus back to Chiwe. In this entry, he's taking on a BJJ black belt and an all-around great fighter, Reese McLaren. Reese has won 9 of his 15 wins by way of submission, which definitely was on the mind of Shi during the entire fight camp and the fight itself. The bout begins and Shi did what Shi does, which is land big shots. He hits McLaren early and perhaps fell in love with the overhand right strike after it was indeed early on with so much success. The fighting resumed and Reese found his rhythm and began taking over the action a little bit. The two seemed evenly matched on the feet, but Wee's power was the outlier here. When Reese landed, it was nice. But there's something dangerous about Shi landing strikes. They just seem far more severe. This bout continues and the momentum begins shifting back to the former Monk's favor. Leave it to 1FC to put on some great action. Then lands the overhand right again, this time dropping Reese. Undeterred, McLaren trudged forward and even secured a takedown, which is the last thing that we wanted. It quickly became obvious that the grappling is where the biggest skill discrepancy was, and it did not favor the Monk. Reese got on top and was able to outclass Shi. Wee didn't look bad, but merely he was a step behind for the grappling exchanges. The end was near as Reese achieved mount position. This gave Shi 2 options: stay there, try to hip escape and risk getting punched in the face multiple times, or to turn over, give up his back, and deal with the submission threat rather than getting pummeled. Truly a pick-your-poison situation. Wee opted for the latter and offered his back, to which Reese gladly accepted. Shi was able to get back up to his feet, but that doesn't mean that the threat of the choke is over, not by a long shot. Reese was able to get under the chin enough to the point where it looked like his squeeze was both choking Shi while cranking his jaw. The former Monk fell to the mat and had to tap out, marking his first stoppage loss on his record. This shows that Shaolin Monks are legitimate, but despite their untouchable aura, are still human and can be defeated. That does it for this video. Which was your favorite entry? You want to see part 2? Let us know down below. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you like the video. Makes sense, right? Hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to make sure you never miss an upload. Until next time.